Hey YouTube, this is Danish coming with part 2 of our IT lab talk videos for CompTIA A+, and this is a part 2. So if you have missed the part 1, which I have explained why we are doing these videos, and the part 2 will not make any sense because you may think that why is he not showing things in this. So make sure you watch part 2. If you don't know how to do it, go to youtube.com, type job skills share, click on job skills share here, and then you will go to the playlist right here. In the playlist you can see the IT lab talk CompTIA A plus is have one video, so that's the introduction. So let's get to our practice lab, and this is the lab that we have left before. So we have finished installing part 1 and part 2, the talk, and then now we're going to talk about retrieving in systems information. So if you're a new IT professional, you're trying to learn these labs, then you must be also thinking now that why did they put this in there? Like, why would I need this? Why would I need to know retrieving information for systems? What is the benefit of this? So by doing these labs, you're basically looking at one tool. Now this covers this exam objectives and stuff like that, but they basically talk about this tool CPU Z, and then collect Windows system information, and then understand system BIOS and EFI. So basically the way you're doing these labs, I mean, if you're looking at this tool right now, this is just like they're telling you there are tools available like this. So it doesn't have to be this one specific tool that you can do this. You can actually use multiple tools, and I'm going to show you that example in a second. But why would you need to know, why would you need to retrieve information from the system? What is the need for it? In a real world scenario, you will be working on multiple different type of scenarios. In this case, it could be something that maybe you're looking for a solution and you need to know what is your system. Is it 64-bit? Is it 32-bit? Is it using certain type of graphic cards? Is it this? Is it that? What kind of motherboard? All these things you're gonna know if you have tools like this, because if you're looking at information outside, you need to know what systems you're working on, and that is not the only thing that you're going to be working on. Most of the time someone will call you. For example, in my case, let's say for example I'm working on a system, let's say Office 365 is having some type of issues, and then they tell me that, okay, what kind of system are you using? Like you're using a browser on what type of system? Is it 64-bit? Is it this? I know it will not make too much sense because that's more like a web base. But what if I have an issue with the Office, the application, the 2016 Microsoft Office, and I'm calling them? Then I need to give them all this information, and you should be able to know that. You should be able to quickly take it out, being in front of the, either on a WebEx or something like that, or you should have it, or you should make a copy of it to send it to the other engineers so they can help you. So this is why you will need to know how to retrieve information from the system. So in this they talk about CPU Z, and I know when you get the lab you will work on this and install it and everything, and but you can do it on your own computer too. So if you go to this link right here, CPUID.com, I just went to Google and I just typed like this CPU Z, and I just clicked on the first link and it just downloaded it. And I'm not going to show that whole thing, but here, so I did installation and I opened this. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly open that application right now. So let's go ahead and open it, and this is the application that I have right now. So you can see how quickly you can find out the CPU of this computer, i7, and then there are some more information, what kind of model it is, the speed of the cores and stuff like that. And I know it's a little technical for someone who is new. You probably wouldn't know what's going on, even half of the things I don't know. So it depends on what you're doing, what kind of job you have, what type of job you have in your environment. Are you working on like really technical stuff inside the computer? Are you the tech support of that type of company? Are you working with someone that told you that I need to know what type of motherboard are you using? What is the model of the motherboard? Are you just gonna open the computer and try to look on the bottom, and no, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna use these type of tools. As you can see right there, main board, motherboard, and that's the model right there. This is the chipset by Intel, and then the date of that. So maybe someone is troubleshooting your motherboard, and you should be able to give them this information. They're like, oh, okay, we got a new update available for this specific model. So why don't you? I'm gonna send you this link, and you basically upgrade it, whatever you have, the solution is. Of course, right now it doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't have that type of updates, but that's the whole key of these type of applications. As you can see, is just retrieve information for you to give it to someone or for you to search something. That is the ability of these applications. Now, if you ask me, is this tool the best tool? I'll say yeah, but I really like other tools, and I have done an advanced troubleshooting video on a different tool. So let me show you that tool. And this tool is called WITS. Well, I have already talked about this Windows Inspection Toolset. This is one of the powerful tools. It doesn't matter if I'm in a help desk or if I'm a system admin. I mean, this is probably the most powerful tool that I have used so far, that gives me every single thing what goes inside the computer. Because if I have an issue, somebody says that I run this command on the website and it has to do something with the task scheduler or something like that on the computer, and then it fails, nothing happens. But when I run it on the, like the test server, everything works. So I tell them, all right, cool, that's awesome. Why don't I open this tool right now? I'm going to open it and I'm going to say WITS Event Monitor. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to click yes into this, and then I'll say, what do I want to capture? When I tell the person to go ahead and run it again, I want to capture some things. So I'm going to say processes, log on sessions, window network connection. I'm just giving you guys an examples right now, and then I can say okay, and then this computer will start capturing everything that I have mentioned over here, and I'll tell the person to go ahead and now run it, so then I can see what's going on inside this event monitor, and everything will start coming up over here in a few seconds. But if you have not seen my other video, I'm going to show you that at the end of this video, that where you can find the advanced troubleshooting video, then you can watch that. So, but again, going back to the system retrieving information, you can see right here both are doing kind of like the same things, but this will give you more information compared to this one. So if you can see, this is CPU right here, but it has an OS module in there too. So when you click on OS, then it will give me, okay, what is the computer name of that job share? What is SID? What is the operating system? That's a home premium. This is pretty powerful when you are working with some other system admins outside, like a vendor, and they tell you what type of build are you using. Now you can go inside the computer and find all these things, by commands and everything. I'm just saying what type of tool you should have to get these type of information quickly without knowing any command line stuff. So you can see right here, I can tell them, oh, my build is 16299, and they're like, oh, you're one build behind, let's fix that. These are our normal IT type of things, that we do. So as you can see, it gives you kernel, memory, the same things that you see over here, but in more detail now. BIOS, like you say, that's the same thing, and you got more information right here. The other thing about this is that this is live type of inspection, so it gives you information, but then it also gives you information what is related to it and what's running behind it, and you can go really, really deep inside. So in one way you can give information to someone, but it's another way you can actually troubleshoot it yourself. So for example, if I click on services right here and I say, okay, this service is running, I'm going to double click on it, and okay, what's running under this? I can pause it, start it, run, status, dependency. If this service has a dependency, it will also show that. So sometimes a service may be running, but there may be an issue with the dependencies, and you may be able to fix that by knowing where is it running from, and you can see where exactly the place is it running from, what kind of command it is using to run that service. You can really dig inside and find more information by using these tools. So these tools are for you to learn more. So now you can see, if you go to the next task, then you can use actually I'm gonna go to the next one actually. If you go to the next one, it says that MS Info right here, MS Info 32 is also a really good, basically a command to know, or this is a tool that they're using, so not a command actually. You can just type this MS Info in Windows 10, it'll say system information. So if you click on it, you get the whole list, like a big list, and this may be required from you to send it to an engineer, because they may tell you that it's working, everything is working on our server, everything is working great. I think there's something different inside of your server, so why don't you send us the whole system information? And all you got to do is to click on file and export it, and then send them the whole log for this system. And there could be other tools too, like Fiddler is a pretty famous one. You run something on the website, it captures everything in HTTP, HTTPS, and this is kind of like a normal daily life of, not daily life of, when there's an issue, you work with other system engineers. Either you are a help desk or a system admin, it doesn't matter at that point. It depends on what type of job you're doing. The third task in this video is basically BIOS and EFI. You know, BIOS is a little bit older systems, EFI, but you need to know this because a lot of systems we are using right now, it's kind of like a combination. So we are still using the BIOS, the older way of, you know, booting the systems. When you go to the BIOS and say, you know, start F12 and you start it from a USB or something like that, things are changing. There's secure boot now, there's more space in EFI now. When you read this lab and you take this lab, you see on the left side you have all the information available to you. So you should take this lab and understand this, because everything is moving towards the new systems now. You may be looking at the old video and somebody's like, you know, clicking on F12 and why is it not starting with a USB and things like that. This may be the reason, because things are updated. If this new system right now that I'm using, if it has everything set up for EFI and everything like that, then I might not be able to use any other YouTube videos outside that are older, and I may have issues. So you don't want to get stuck in that situation where now that it's because you just didn't know this information. So this is why you need to understand, you know, what is major. That is, what is a major difference between, you know, like these systems now, because you don't want to get stuck in a scenario where you're thinking you're doing everything correctly, but you're not seeing the screen the same way in these videos. You know, almost all of them are changed. That is because it is a major change. So that's where you need to keep yourself up to date. So hopefully this part 2 video is the ending of our section retrieving system information. Now let's go back to where I discussed that I have actually shared the advanced troubleshooting on the site. If you go to jobskillshare.org and you go all the way down and go to the course help desk entry level to specialist, when you click on that, you will see a video. And if you go all the way down in this, then you will need to get to the course first on the right side where you have to take the course. Once you get inside the course, you will see this video right here, advanced troubleshooting. And on top there's another video from Professor Messer, which is, we already know he's a pretty, like, the best A+ training out there. So he has his own methods of troubleshootings and things like that. And then this is also the advanced troubleshooting that I have done on bits. On this one, how to log the system, how to find out the security, how to find out the connections, all of that good stuff. You can find it in this tool. And make sure you do that lab. You can practice everything on that lab and learn, and then you can practice on these tools to kind of combine your, you know, your learning. And then when you talk in interview, when somebody asks you, you should be able to use these names. CPU-Z, I have worked with Windows inspection tools. I know these really cool stuff I can troubleshoot, like, you know, really advanced stuff. And you can talk about JobSkillShare that I have, you know, I've finished the whole course on this. This is where you're going to, you know, you're going to be in that confident. Your confidence level is going to be really high when you talk to someone in an interview, and that's where people are going to be like, this person knows, he knows more than just A+. You know, it's not about just paper right here. This person actually done something. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in part 3.